What's up, y'all? So it is 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why I'm up with so much energy, but I just feel like I am on fire for the Lord right now. Like I am on fire for Him, and my body is tired still. Like I'm still kind of sick. I still have whatever. That's beside the point. But my body is like still tired, so I'm not about to like make like a full-blown video like my notes and everything, but I thought now would be a really great time to share my testimony because I just went in on social media. I feel like I just went in like on my story. I share a lot of like the good side of God, but like He definitely has an angry side. He has His wrath. His wrath is coming. His wrath is coming. And it's something that a lot of people don't really talk about. It's something that a lot of people might shy away from because they're like, we don't gotta live in fear. Yeah, okay, that's fine. You don't have to live in fear. Literally, like, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but He gave us one of power, of love, and of a sound mind to be able to know what is coming. And what I see coming, what I see happening is just outrageous. So, whatever. I just felt compelled to come on here and share my testimony because it's something that's like not super serious, right? I mean, it is serious, but like it's the most I can do at 2 a.m. right now, and I'm sharing this in hopes that it reaches somebody, that somebody is able to gain something, to learn something from it, to it just, and also so y'all just, I mean, I'm sure a lot of y'all probably just think that I just became like a crazy Bible lady like overnight, which yeah, it might seem that way because it's social media. I'm not going to share every single part of my life on social media, but I just want y'all to know where all of this is stemming from, how I got anointed with His Holy Spirit and the oil. Like, I'm not perfect. I am not perfect at all, like by any means, but He has chosen me. He has chosen me to share His word, and I am so honored, Lord. I thank you so much, Heavenly Father. I thank you for wisdom, and I thank you for knowledge. I thank you for opening my eyes to the deceptions, of this world, Heavenly Father. I just thank you. With all praise and all glory goes to you, Heavenly Father. But without further ado, let's just get into it. So, contrary to popular belief, I did not grow up super duper Christian. Like my family, and I'm just talking off the top of my head, y'all, too. So bear with me. If I need to rewind, if I forget some pieces, I'm literally just thinking of the timeline, like of my life in my head. So I didn't grow up super Christian or anything. I grew up in, just like I guess what you would call like a normal home. I had both of my parents, all that kind of stuff. Thank God. I'm so grateful and so thankful for that. Despite their struggles and everything that they had, like within their relationship, like they always said, like there's literally a reason, like why God placed us together, and there is. Like my sister and I are both love children. I'm a strong believer in that because my parents are just, they're amazing in their own, and they each literally like poured out equal amounts of qualities into both of us, and so we had a really great upbringing. We really did. We didn't have to want for much of anything. We were blessed. My family was blessed, but we didn't go to church like that. Like we went like every now and then, we would like hop into my grandmother's church, or that was really it. I think we might have went to like a few other family members' churches, like once or twice, but like we were not consistent with it at all. I think I could probably speak for my whole family when I say that we never really felt comfortable in a church, and that definitely can be for a reason. I'm not saying that all churches are like this, but a lot of these churches out here are deceived themselves. They have adopted things that go against what scripture actually says, and a lot of the pastors are kind of crooked. They don't even preach they don't preach God's word in its entirety. They only preach like what they want you to know, which literally is a part of the deception. But anywho, whatever. So I don't think we ever really felt comfortable in a specific church. Like, we never found our home church. My dad, he would like kind of, oh my goodness, I'm telling like little details. I need to like hurry up and tell like the whole story. But my dad, he would like pick like bits and pieces out of the Bible. Like we had the Bible in our house, but he would just like turn to like a random page and like read like little verses here and there, not really piecing them together, not really trying to understand, kind of just being like a lukewarm Christian. So, that was that. Let's see, fast forward to when I was about like 8. When I was 8, whenever I was in 3rd grade, I received a scholarship from my lovely teacher, Megan Alexis. Shoot, I'm so sorry if I just butchered your name, Miss Alexis. I think that was her first name, but like now I'm just questioning myself. But anywho, my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Alexis, was really, really great, and she granted me a scholarship to Camp Tecumseh. And Camp Tecumseh actually is a Christian church, or no, sorry, I said a Christian church, a Christian camp. And it's definitely centered around God. It definitely is. I went there from the time that I was 8 to the time that I was like 16. So like I went there for like 8 years, and it was a week, one summer or 1 week out of each summer every year. And the main focus was God, but we also did like camp activities. We would go canoeing, we would go to the lake, we would do arts and crafts, we would do like outdoor stuff, all that kind of stuff. But I never really felt like I didn't like it the first few years that I went. Like, I was very, very sad. I specifically remember crying, like, I can't write my parents a letter because I don't know my zip code. Like, I was very dramatic. I'm a very dramatic kid, very dramatic person in real life. But I just didn't like it. I didn't like being away from my family. Like, I didn't feel comfortable there. This might be beside the point, but actually it kind of plays into like the rest of my life. I was the only Black girl there because I was there on a scholarship. As the years went on, they started to like give scholarships to other people of color, I guess you could say. I don't know how it started. I don't know where it stemmed from. I don't know if it was like a charity thing. I don't know. But that's gonna play into the rest of my life because I've always kind of been like the token Black girl, and that really just kind of irritates me. But like, we're not gonna go there right now. So that was that. I went to Camp Tecumseh. My favorite part of Camp Tecumseh was chapel. And chapel was really, really, really amazing to me because they did like skits that like reenacted actual scripture, and skits that just like helped you to like better explain like what was going on, because I mean, that the Bible is like really, really, it can be like difficult to understand, difficult to read. But they made it fun, they made it make sense. And not to mention, it was in the middle of the woods overlooking the Tippecanoe River. So every morning it would be like the sunrise like shining on like the water and stuff like that. And we would just be singing and praising and worshiping. And I still remember some of those songs to this day. Like, that was just like a very integral part of my camp experience. So that was that. I still kind of was like, like I still didn't really have that personal relationship with God. I just really enjoyed it. Like, I didn't have like I couldn't grasp like the full concept of who God was, but I knew that he gave me a feeling deep down that was like no other. Like, I did know. And so, but like whenever I would leave camp, after that week, I would just go back to like living life as per usual. I guess life per usual for me was like, I mean, for everybody, I was very much in the world, and to nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault, because again, this world is so deceptive that like even my parents didn't realize what was going on. They just didn't know. So when I would go back into the world, like when I wasn't at camp, literally this was 1 week a year, I was very into school. I was like a straight A honor roll student. Like I just did everything by the book. And people just used to call me like a goody two shoes and da 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 da. People still call me that to this day. Like, so be it. You know, I will be like, I will be black and white. I will be like, just, I'm not about to straddle. Like, I'm gonna be good. I'm not gonna be bad. Period. But where was I going with that? I just forgot where I was going with that. Shoot. I don't know. I was in school. That was just my main focus. Like, my parents were very adamant about like knowing what I wanted to do when I grew up and da 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 da. Like just typical stuff, you know. Parents want the best for you, and that's where their mindset was for me and for my sister both. So I would be doing my homework, but I still lived like a normal life, you know. Like I would go outside and like play with my friends and everything, da 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 da. Let's fast forward to freshman year of high school. So freshman year of high school, rewind back to like 8th grade, right before high school. I met Andre, my fiance, who is loving and wonderful and amazing, but he's a big part of my testimony, let me tell y'all that. But anywho, I met him like in middle school. I think he said it was in 7th grade, but I remember, like, I don't know, my memory is really not that great, but he remembers us meeting actually all the way like back in 6th grade through like a mutual friend and all that kind of stuff. But me just being me, I really didn't mess with anybody, and I still don't really mess with anybody to this day. But like, I was just very self-kept. I just stayed to myself a lot in school. And so yeah, I met Andre. I don't even know how it happened. I wasn't even really feeling him. Like, he used to get on my nerves because he used to be one of them people that would just stand in the middle of the hallway, like just blocking the whole way. Like, I don't know. I used to be very, very, very short-tempered, which I still kind of am. I'm definitely working on it. I have definitely gotten a lot better, but we'll get to that. So yeah, I did not like Andre. I did not. And I was also very shallow. So like, I like was very focused on like the physical aspect of things, and I don't know, it was just really pointless. Like, I can elaborate on that, like our actual relationship, more so in a different video. But blah 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 blah. Fast forward to somewhere in high school, like Andre and I got together, like we started dating freshman year, and I was still a goody two shoes. Like, I was still just like, you know, doing everything I needed to do. I was still really focused on school. I was that way all the way up until I graduated. I mean, I kind of like slacked off a little tiny bit like senior year because I was just over it. Like, after a certain point in time, like school just becomes repetitive. And for me, that was like after, like, that was dang near like high school. I mean, maybe like sophomore year of high school, it became repetitive. But I still did what I needed to do, still made the grade, da 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 da. Along the journey, again, I'm not placing the blame on anybody, you know, because no sin is greater than the other. It's nobody's fault. Like, you know, a lot of people like didn't even know that certain things were deceptive. But I would say I specifically remember Andre telling me, he was like, "You're so black and white. Like, everything is not like this or that. Like, you need to like kind of open your mind and like expand, da 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 da." And so I was very hesitant. Like, I felt like, like, you know, I wasn't with it, but like somehow, like, I guess subconsciously, like I kind of started doing it. Like, I started smoking. I smoked on junior prom, and like I smoked weed, and that was that. I it like wasn't a fun experience for me the first time either. Like I thought I was about to die. I was like, oh my god, like how long is this gonna stay in me? Like get this out, please. Like I started like freaking out for real. But that happened junior year, and what else? I'm trying to remember what else might have been like super important during those years. I don't know, but I started doing like bad stuff. I mean, not really like it was bad stuff. It was bad stuff. Like this is real personal. Like I'm not trying to tell y'all all of this. I'm not trying to tell y'all all of this, but I mean I guess it's a testimony video. So I lost my virginity to Andre when I was like 15. This is real personal. Like I don't feel comfortable telling you guys this, but I mean he's literally the only person. Like the way God works is so intentional, and it's really really crazy. Like Andre is my only person, but I did have like obviously premarital sex, and yeah, and it was at a really young age. So I think that was like mostly what like my being bad was composed of just doing really bad things with Andre. Not really bad, but like smoking weed and like having sex. Dang, this is, oh my gosh. I don't want to post this anymore, but we're being vulnerable. Like, I mean, and I know that there's like way worse things that people have done. Like that's very minuscule in the grand scheme of things, but that was my sin. And like it was just careless. I was having a good old time. Like I just wasn't. I don't know. Andre introduced me to like kind of like the other side of things, and that was that. So also during our relationship, we'll be together for 10 years this year. During our relationship, I was all the things that like love was not. I was not patient. I kept record of like wrongs. I was very nosy. I was very angry. Like I was very bitter. Like I don't know. I was very toxic. I was very toxic. And that was that. I mean, like the devil literally entered our relationship. The devil literally did on both ends. Like not just one person or another. Like there was some really crazy stuff surrounding our relationship, and I can elaborate more on that in another video maybe. I don't know. I don't want y'all to know all of my business, but so yeah, the devil had literally entered our relationship. We were together, but like not really. Like things were just really really terrible. They were messed up. Also during this time, I kind of jumped to like after high school. I can't really think of no significant things that happened back then, but so I don't remember exact dates. I really don't. I think I was out of high school when like the crazy stuff started happening. Shoot, I just lost my train of thought too. Okay, so we'll just start from there. Andre and I's relationship was like it just, the devil was in it, and he was very prominent, and it just wasn't pretty. It just wasn't looking good, you know. During the time that, around the time that Trump first got elected president, that's the only significant thing that I can remember. That is when things kind of started happening like in my personal life, more specifically with my mother. And I've also like talked with Andre, I've talked with my mom. They are okay with me like sharing these, like this testimony, because they are literally a huge part of like my personal testimony, and they also have personal testimonies of their own that they can share should they be willing to come forth and do so. I know my mother would love to, but like I have to like compose like a list of interview questions for her. Blah blah blah. That's beside the point. But when Trump first got inaugurated, that's when things really started to get crazy, like in my family. My mother started going through some episodes as in like mental health episodes. They were really dramatic. It was kind of like something out of a movie. I, I mean, I'd rather not go into detail about that, but like, long story short, like I've witnessed demonic possession, and it was really, really scary. Like, it didn't happen like several times. It literally happened several times. So from that time, I don't remember what year that was. Whenever dude got inaugurated, like that's when things like first started. So from that, like I want to say like 2016 to like 2020, actually, yeah. So over the span of those 4 years, my mom was under serious spiritual attack. Even after being hospitalized several times, they were unable to diagnose her with anything. I remember like just one time, this was like probably like 2 years into everything happening. They said, oh, well, it might be, what did they say? Oh my goodness. Y'all, I promise, like I cannot make this stuff up. It's just literally a matter of me remembering, because my memory is just like low-key trash. And like I said, it's late at night. But what did they say? They diagnosed her with unknown psychosis with psychotic features. That's what they said, and that was a diagnosis. Unknown psychosis with psychotic features. So literally, like, they could not figure out what this was, and this was just very random. Like, it was just like a random onset of these symptoms and these like outbursts of just like everything that you have seen in a demonic possession movie. I witnessed in real life. The voice changes, the slow head turns, like that. I'm gonna share two specific moments with y'all, because I will always wonder like why. It was so weird, because it's like my dad and my sister, like they like didn't really, like they cared, but like they didn't know how to deal with it, and I was always the one who like had compassion and like love, and like they kind of like called on me like to deal with a lot of these things, and I would just question myself like inside my head, like why am I always around when these types of things happen? Like it was just very, very, very strange. I don't know. I'll elaborate on it with my mom if she's willing to do a video with me. But one specific time I remember, she and I were home alone. It was just us two. I don't know where Bree was. I think Bree had already went to school, or she was over her friend's house. But it was just us two, and she started having an episode. So I could not drive her to the hospital myself, because she would have tried to jump out the window, she would have tried to jump out the door, like no joke. So I had to call the ambulance, and when the ambulance arrived, she became completely catatonic, which means like she like was unconscious, like she wasn't responsive to anything, and she was catatonic all the way from the ambulance ride from our house to St. Vincent's Hospital. And even when we got inside the St. Vincent's Hospital, she was not responding to anything. And which was random, because like it was just so random how it happened, y'all. I can't even describe it. Anywho, we get inside of St. Vincent's. She's in triage for like a few hours. Her mother comes up there, so it's me, my granny, my mom's mom, and then my mom. So 3 of us. And we're all in the hospital room, and I don't know. I'm not even gonna go into detail about it again, but specifically, I remember her legs were just like raising up like that. And so I was at the bottom, like I was at like the end of the bed, and I was just like rubbing her legs to just like comfort her and like calm her down, you know. She's still catatonic at this point, but her legs are just like going like that. And so I'm just down there rubbing them, trying to comfort. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, she raises up and she's like, "You." And I was like, "Me what? Me what?" I'm so ignorant. Like, I don't even, whatever. But she's just like, you, like, and the way that she raised up, again, something out of a scary movie, like, not even real life, y'all, like, I can't even describe it. So she raises up and she's just like, you. She's pointing at me. She will not stop saying you. And then she starts to spaz out. And the whole time I'm just still sitting there like, me what? Like, I'm not scared or nothing. I'm just like, I mean, like, I'm scared, but like, I'm just still there, like, confused, like, huh? And so she's just spazzing out, and I literally can't even describe it, y'all. It was just very strange how it happened, but she started spazzing out, and eventually, like, the doctors had to come in, and they made me get out. And like, I was just like, her mom was still in there and stuff like that, and I was just looking like inside the window, like, and then and after I got out, she like calmed down and stuff. And I'm sorry, like, I don't know, that's a lot to talk about, like, which is again why I'm not really trying to go into that much detail about that. But that was the first time that, like, I knew that there was a light in me. Like, I knew that I had something that was to be feared. Like, I did not understand that at the time, but looking back on it, like, it's just crazy. And then another specific time, oh my goodness, this is so much to tell, and I'm running out of time, but like, we were in the car together, and she started going through her episode, and I'm driving, and she like turned around and was like, like, I'm not it's not funny, but like, this is just how I felt at the moment. Like, my eyes were just tearing up. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't even know. But I mean, I kept my composure, I kept my calm. Like, I always knew how to deal with these situations, and that situation actually turned into something way, way, way crazier. Like, it was super crazy. Like, I remember hiding behind my car from my mom because she like started like superhero strength. Like, that's another characteristic of demonic possession. But that, yeah. So that was that. There were several experiences where things like that happened. My dad witnessed it, my sister witnessed it, Andre witnessed it. I obviously witnessed it. Like, it was just a lot to deal with. And also, we need to talk about mental illness stigmas in the Black community. Like, it's not something to be joking about. It's not something that is like that you should just brush off. Like, it's serious, and it's more serious than people realize. So that's that. And so blah 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 blah. Fast forward to I'm losing steam, y'all. I'm kind of getting sleepy, and I'm kind of getting emotional a little bit. But what's the next like significant piece of my life? A relationship. So March of 2019, like, Andre and I, this is when I was pregnant too. Like, Andre and I were just like, just not good. Like, we were definitely on the rocks, and I don't know, it just, like I said, the devil was literally on both of our shoulders. Like, it was very toxic. And blah blah blah, something really traumatic happened. This is a very vague testimony, but I'm hoping that y'all are still grabbing the gist of it. So something really traumatic happened in our relationship, and I was just very down about it. Like, I was just very, very, very sad. I was hurt. Also apply that to my mother too, because she was going through a lot when her episodes first started happening. That's when the devil literally hops in. Like, he hops in when you were stressed, depressed, like vulnerable. He literally, and that's what demons are. Demons are in the spiritual realm. They are looking for physical bodies to take over, to still be here, and to like y'all don't realize that we see demons every single day. Like, demons are manifested within people. And so that was that. Where was I going with that? I'm running really short on time because I feel like my phone is about to run out of space. So yeah, I was really vulnerable. I was just in a really dark place for like some months. I was probably like a whole year. Like I was just in a really, really dark place. So June of 2019, like I was just like looking for, I wasn't even looking for anything, but like the devil found me even more, and I started participating in like yoga and a lot of new age practices, like I had like crystals and stuff. Like I didn't do anything with the crystals, I just had them because I thought that they were pretty, but like that's literally a forbidden object. Like God does not mess with that at all. But I was just like, my mind was just it was just taken off track. It was very taken off track. And the devil had me for a little bit. He did. I think I elaborate more on this in one of my other videos, and I'll be sure to tag that one below. But the devil had me from like March of 2019 until like January of 2020. And yeah, I was deceived, like, and I thought that I was trying to incorporate God into like a lot of these things. No, God is not. He's not into that kind of stuff. Like he won't share his glory with anything else. But like I was like, oh, like I'm doing like a God-centered yoga practice. Like I'm carrying these crystals to remind myself that like God is love and stuff like that. Like very, very, very deceived, very gullible, very arrogant. And so that was that. During this time that I was being deceived, this was like November of 2019, Andre, Adrian, and we left for like 1 hour. Like it wasn't even that long that we were gone. Came back home, and somebody left a Bible on our porch. I was kind of scared at first because I was like, who is that close to my house, number one? Like, where did this come from? I was kind of freaked out. I told the girls at work, they was like, you should call the police, da 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 da. And I was like, no, like, I just didn't feel compelled to call the police because, like, it's a Bible. Like, I'm not going to be scared of a Bible. You know, I was familiar with it already, but I just had a negative stigma on it because, like, the things that I had seen before, I was just like, oh shoot, like it seemed like people that get deep into the Bible, like something really bad happens to them. So I was just like a little uneasy about it, but I wasn't afraid because it's the Bible. And so during this time that I was still being deceived, I don't know how long it took me to open. It didn't take me that long to open it because I actually felt like the house that we lived in, this was me, Andre, and Adrian. We were living on Dearborn at the time, and something was off about that house. It was very spooky, and we also obtained it not through God. Like we did not pray about this. Like we just went about it like our own way, and this house was like not. This house was not it. Like it was a blessing from Satan. And so I opened it to start reading. Like I started like my intention was to pray over the house or to like ward off any negativity or any evil that was in this house. But at the same time, like I was saging and stuff. Like I was just doing stuff that like didn't make sense. Like it contradicted what God wanted me to do. But I also started reading the devotionals that were in there. Y'all see me post these devotionals all the time. That's where my walk with God began, was with those devotionals. So I just started reading them, and it's like I would turn to like random ones, and they would relate directly to whatever it is that I was going through. Like it was like God was like literally talking to me. And so that is where I started with my spiritual journey there. And oh my gosh, I'm trying to like crunch all of this in. This is so like nerve-wracking, trying to like tell all these pieces of the story and try to make them make sense. But that's where I started. And at the time I was still watching like synchronicity videos and like videos about manifesting and like just I was torn. Like I was literally like a lukewarm Christian. Like I wanted God to fit in the way I wanted him to fit in, and that just didn't work. That's not how he works. That is not how he works, period. And so yeah, that was that. I eventually started reading more. Oh wait, no, oh my goodness, I just forgot like a really, really big part. Andre got injured on the job, And this was a direct result of everything that is physical and wow, everything that is physical and visible is preceded by that which is invisible and spiritual. So this was Andre's dirt that he did. It manifested in a serious bodily injury for him, and that lasted like some months. And I didn't really care at the time because I was still like kind of mad at him. Like I did not wish this on him. I did not. Like this was literally like punishment, like from God directly. But one night I remember praying about it so hard. Like I prayed and I was like God, I forgive him. Like please just take this pain away from him. Da 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 da. Because I was tired of hearing him like wince. Like he was going through it like for months. Like he would just be going through excruciating pain like all throughout the night. Like he would just be going through it. So I prayed and I told God like I forgive him for the things that he did, and I just ask that you please just take this pain away from him. And that night that I prayed super duper hard for him, he woke up the next morning and I was like, rate your pain, like how does it feel? And he's like a 2. And from that day on, the pain was no longer, after I prayed over him and actually forgave him. This is a really terrible testimony. Like I just wish I could really elaborate more in depth, because God literally is so intentional. He works in he works in even the smallest ways. And I wish I could like literally remember. I'm gonna have to redo this so I can tell y'all the specifics about like how he worked in my life. Like he delivered me from this evil. He delivered me from the sin that I had done. He delivered me from the evil that I was partaking in. Like he literally changed everything around. And so what next? Oh, y'all, I'm really losing steam. I cannot remember. Oh my goodness. So that was January of like 2020. That was January of 2020. And Andre and I, like, we were fine, like, we were better, but it still, like, was kind of, like, like, we were kind of just, like, and, shoot, I cannot remember, y'all, because there was another significant event that happened, and I cannot remember it right now. Okay, but long story short, I'm gonna just finish this out for you. I obviously started reading more. God was literally, like, I was reading and praying more, so God was talking to me back. I mean, he said, like, seek and you shall find, and that's literally what he did. Like, it was, like, the smallest of things, too, like, through allowing me to get a new job that was, like, way better than anything that I had ever experienced in the past, from allowing us to get a new house that was cleansed and that was not that didn't have like spiritual activity going on in it. We had a bird fly in our house, and that was just, it was in there for 3 days. Like, it would not get out. We could not get it out any type of way. This was during quarantine. This was when COVID first started, so March of 2020, and that was just a weird situation in its own. But yeah, we literally could not get it out until one day we went in there with like a big comforter, like ready to like try to just catch it or do something that we can. We had tried everything, by the way, too. But this was the final day, and we were like, no, this bird like has to get out, because it was in Adrian's room, and so I was afraid of it. I'm like, no, like nothing is about to happen to my baby. Like, he couldn't even sleep in there, and I was just annoyed that like the bird was in there just pooping on everything. So we went in there with a comforter. Like, Najee was like, okay, I'm about to kick the door open. Like, you gotta come with the blanket like that. And so he opened the door, and he smashed it just by opening the door. And so that was the end of that. But like that set off like a whole, that was the beginning of like my bird thing. Like, it's just, that's a whole thing. I know I need to elaborate more on these things. I know I do. I'm so sorry. But thank you guys for bearing with me. And so that was that. I started reading more. I started praying more. I actually started seeking God directly more. I stopped Googling things. I stopped listening to like what just random man had to say. I went and I searched for myself, and that is when I started to experience all of his wonderful glory that he literally wanted me to experience. And he started revealing things to me. He started talking to me in more ways than one. Like, it's just so crazy. And Andre and I's relationship finally got restored. Like, it got restored back to, like, it felt, we just, after I had Adrian, that was like my rebirth. That was my rebirth after I had Adrian. Like, I felt like I was becoming a new person, but in reality, I was not reborn until, like, I wasn't reborn until I started reading the word, until I accepted Jesus or Yahshua into my heart, and actually into my life. That's when things started to change around for me. Like, literally, like, it was like a roller coaster. Like, everything just started going up. This is really crazy. This is not a good testimony. I'm really sorry, y'all. But that is when things started to change, and Andre and I started to read more together, and that is when he started to change. I really hope that he feels moved at some point to share his side of the testimony, because it was another thing about there was an incident that happened. I was upstairs. I did not know that Andre was downstairs praying, but he was praying about his own struggles and everything. And one night, I just, I awoke with such urgency, and I was like, what time? Like, what time is it? Like, I just felt, like, so, like, confused and so urgent. And, like, the fact that I had been asking God to reveal himself to Andre and to, like, just create him anew and, like, work on him and show him all of his glory as well. Like, God literally did it within hours. And I didn't even know that Andre was downstairs praying. Like, we both prayed for, like, reconciliation. We both prayed for just help. Like, we just were both, like, crying out to him about our relationship. Not together. Like, he was downstairs and I was upstairs. And God literally, like, changed it. He turned it all around within the matter of a few hours. And that's when Andre was like, wow. Like, it was, oh my goodness, it was just crazy. I don't know. I do need to elaborate more. Maybe I'll do a more in-depth video when I am not about to fall asleep. Maybe when my mind is in a better state. But I don't know. I just wanted to come on here and just share that with y'all really, really quick. My life did not get better until God literally, like, until I gave it to him. I lost my life and I found it in him. I gave everything to God, and, like, I let go of control, and I gained control because I gave it to him. Like, my life did not change. My life did not turn over until I invited him into all of my situations. How I got to be chosen by God, I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I did find out that my name means the exalted one in Hebrew, and I also don't believe that the Bible was left on my porch for no reason. That everything happens for a reason, like, literally everything. And yeah, like, it's just crazy. I mean, I don't know. If y'all want to hear a more detailed version, let me know and I will do it. But I hope that I was able to convey a little bit of the point that I was trying to get across. I don't feel like I was. I feel very incomplete. I'm probably gonna have to refilm this. But if you stayed this far, thank you for listening. It's literally all about a personal relationship with God. It is about seeking him. Draw near to him and he will draw near to you. That's literally what it's all about. And also, it's like, I don't know how much time we have left to do so, but, like, we literally do serve, like, such a patient and forgiving God. So this is the time to seek him should you want to actually know him in his fullness, in his entirety. But anywho, thank you guys so much for listening. I mean, I hope this reached at least one. It wasn't really much of anything, but that's all I got for y'all. Everybody be blessed. Remember to build and strengthen your relationship with God yourself. Like, that's literally what it's all about. Test my spirit, because A lot of false prophets have gone out to the world. I literally don't consider myself to be a false prophet because I go basically, like literally off of scripture, like to a T. My opinion is nothing. Like I am just a nobody serving a God who is great, and I just think that I thank Him that He has chosen me above all, that He has plucked me out of this world because I've always been different, but I just didn't know how. People have always told me this about myself, but I just didn't see it. Like, but God literally says, like, I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not harm you in any sort of way. So that's that. Everybody be blessed, and thanks for watching.